What episode is this?
17.
17.
Episode 17. In case you missed it, make
Let's
some
go.
noise.
Woo!
All I gotta say is that Run Club was out of control.
That was too crazy.
And if anything, I think it's just an example of like what people want right now. Two things: positive energy, community.
Yeah, it's
positive energy, community.
That's
Whatever it is that you do, I don't care if you're a real estate agent, chef, entrepreneur, fashion designer.
People just want to be around good people.
Find a way to
good energy.
Find a way to improve your current community in any way. Maybe you don't work at all. Maybe
create one.
Yeah, create that new community. People are seeking community, man. In a way that they could relate to it. So I think that has been a really cool thing to see. That after 5 Run Clubs, it's getting bigger and it's growing, and it's just dope too. So kudos to you, man, for really taking this and being like, you know what, I want to put a positive dent of inspiration right here in our backyard in Costa Mesa. So
it was good.
Make some noise for Justin Lee. My name is Keven Stirdivant, aka Kevion. Who are you, young man?
Eli Stirdivant.
Let's go. Justin Lee.
Let's go. So right out of the gate, like last week, we kind of shifted things up a little bit and we wanted to tap into that high level inspo.
Oh, yeah.
We have been doing we just finished the second On the House, our complimentary elevated coaching program. We had like 500 people pop in and out of that thing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Super dope. And so a lot of that is still fresh in my mind because, the topics that we talked about was like how to overcome getting an uppercut, right? Dealing with an L. And it was rad. Like so many of the things that I had were exactly what Angie brought to the table. But the biggest one was just put your armor on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're aiming to do big things and you're taking on big goals, you're going to have some hurdles. You're going to have some upsets.
Yeah, there's no challenges in your life. Then
you're playing small.
You're playing too
which
small.
is okay.
It's fine.
But if you want to do it big, guess what?
Yeah.
You're going to take a punch in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So be prepared for it. How do you do that? Your morning routine, man.
Yep.
I've kind of narrowed in my little process that I do to 10 minutes. Figure yours out. That's the biggest thing I would encourage people to do, to figure out. And it should be difficult. Mine has the 5-minute plank and the plunge. Shit's hard, but it's very, very awesome. And so whatever that morning routine is for you, stick to it and watch how it improves your life.
Yeah.
What's going on with y'all?
Man, we've been busy. You guys
are going off.
Yeah, we got a lot of accountability games going on for the end of the year, trying to get things popping.
Have you lost any of your accountability games?
I lost one last week.
So just so everybody knows, we do these games and like everybody's involved in it. Everybody basically takes on several actions. They choose the actions and they choose the consequence. Mm-hmm. And if they don't do the actions they said, they got to pay up. Yeah. Oh, do you know what Eric and I just did?
What?
Did I tell you about this?
Mm-mm. This one?
Yeah. By December the 15th, he has to sign $10 million, listing, escrow, whatever it is, but it's got to be 10 mil.
It could be an offer or all listing or just...
It's got to be an escrow or a listing.
Okay.
It's got to add up to 10.
Yep.
Could double into home for 5, whatever.
So he has a month.
And if by December 12th...
10 mil?
Yeah. December 12th or December 15th, KP? The 12th. Yeah.
Wow.
Shaving right here. From here...
Oh!
Yeah, from here to here, I'm gonna shave all right here, and he has to rock that for 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, not the sides? Not a shaved head?
No, it's a clown.
Wait, just the top middle part?
Yeah,
Oh
just right here.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
No hat? Can he wear a hat?
Christmas is gonna be weird.
Yeah, bro. I mean, no. You know what?
Better get that's motivation.
You know what?
Let's
try to call him live right here on the podcast and see if he picks up.
Pull up to the Christmas function looking crazy.
I didn't see him.
What is that called? The reverse mohawk?
I don't know.
The reverse mohawk,
it's more
right?
like a clown cut.
Oh
You know what I
my
mean?
gosh.
He wasn't here.
Krusty the Clown.
Because what is the question that you just asked? Is he allowed to wear a hat?
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to disappear. Like if we just made
no
this
beanies.
accountability.
Oh,
he didn't answer.
He's working.
He's working.
He's trying to get
He's
right
working
there.
hard.
So just to reiterate our game, right? You're live on the pod, my friend. You are live on the pod. It is a $10 million commitment, correct?
Yeah.
By what day?
December 15th.
Okay, December
Wow.
15th. Yep. And then what happens if that ink is not received?
I don't know. I forgot because I'm going to get it anyway.
Okay. I like the confidence. Well, let me remind
determined.
you. Here's a little hint. Bzzz. Yep. Shaving your head.
Wow.
I'm gonna start on the sides. So it'll basically be like probably 4, just so you understand the width at the top of your head. It's gonna be 4 things.
Basically everything but here.
Everything but the side. It's gonna be the top of your head.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
So
Hey, that's bad, bro. Can you wear what did you guys establish the ability of wearing a hat?
We did not establish the ability of wearing a hat.
That's really bad.
But I think we had an agreement.
Which was?
Can't amend the agreement.
Well, you do what you got to do, but you already know if you try to wear a hat up here all day long, people are just going to be grabbing that thing.
Super glue that thing.
If I wear a hat, it has to be a KASE hat.
That's fine. Whatever the easiest thing is to pull off. All right, my dog. Hey, get to work, bro. Get to work.
Exactly.
All right. Later.
Wow.
Man.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Listen.
I hope he gets
take
it.
on some things.
Hope he gets it.
Take on some things that are difficult and then implement accountability to push you to do it.
Yep.
Sir.
That's what's up.
Yep.
Well, listen, you guys actually last week came up with mad data of stuff you guys wanted to talk about that you were really compelled to talk about. I appreciate you taking the time to dive into some of these stats. So,
Interesting stuff.
Justin, let's dive into your piece, man. What is going on? What's some of the news?
Yeah.
Hot real estate news that you wanted to share?
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to highlight this week, for any sellers right now going into the new year, or if you're thinking of listing your listing your house now, or I think going into the new year with a lot of what we're hearing in the real estate market right now, one thing that's important for you guys to know is the importance of making the first impression.
Crucial.
Yes.
And
What do you mean,
and
like photos, or like what do you mean by first
price.
impression? Really?
Price.
Okay.
Price and the product, though.
Price and the product, but today we're talking specifically about price, and I have some stats I want to share with you guys. You guys know the phrase, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
That's right.
This applies heavily right now in the real estate market.
When you showed up
as
in
a seller.
2018 and you wore nothing but turtlenecks, I was like, this guy's going to kill it.
Mhm.
Yep.
He's going to kill it. That turtleneck made an extraordinary impression. I'm bummed I don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I knew that you were going to do great, and I was right.
He's good.
He did phenomenal.
Analytical.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, especially with interest rates being so high, with just the, economy and everything going on, like, I think buyers are very cautious right now. Borrowing money is way more expensive. So they're looking at everything. And the number one thing that they're definitely paying attention to, of course, is price. So one of the things I wanted to share, this is a really interesting stat, and this just covers September, but I'll give you a good idea of what's going on. In September, 80% of the homes that sold did not reduce their asking price.
In September.
Interesting. Yeah, 80%.
And what is this? Where are we talking about? All of Orange County? Okay.
All of Orange County.
Yep.
So 80% of the homes that sold in September did not reduce their asking price. And for those that didn't, and we're just going to talk about $1 million sales price to keep it easy, the people who did not reduce their house, they sold for, on average, $2,000 more than the asking price and went pending in 8 days, which means time on the market was way less.
Yeah.
And on average, they made and sold more by about $2,000. So the main point is, if you didn't reduce your price, you sold faster and you didn't sell under your asking price.
But meaning they didn't list too high. They didn't need to reduce their price.
No, they didn't need to reduce their price. They got more on average than what they asked for and went pending on average in 8 days, which means if you price accordingly, you'll do well, you'll sell fast, and you'll sell for more than what you asked for. But 11% of closed sales in September did reduce their asking price between 1% and 4%. And those people had a list price to sales ratio on average of 97%, which means if you listed your house for $1 million, you ended up reducing for $975 and you sold for that. So you sold for about $15,000 under what you asked for, and it took 43 days for you to sell.
What is the percentage lower?
So the list to sales price ratio was 97%.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Versus if you didn't sell, it was like 100.2%.
Yeah, exactly. So on a $3 million sale, it's $100,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And then there were people, 5% of homes that sold in September, who reduced more than 5%, and it was 9% of closed sales in September. Reduced more than 5%, and those people had a list to sales price of 95%. So you listed.
What month was that?
This is all for September.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you listed for $1 million, you sold for $950.
Wow.
So you lost about $50K.
Wow.
Interesting.
So the more you reduce the price, the longer your house sat on the market, and the less you sold for.
Yep. Becomes old news.
Well, we just experienced that. I mean, I have two specific cases. One that is still available that I thought would be selling for 3.4. We got an offer at 2.8, which I thought the seller would say to kick rocks. And interestingly enough, they were like, you know what? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And then we just had 19th close, which that one didn't surprise me as much. That was honestly closer to the figures that I talked about just because I knew the state of things. Yeah. I sold it for 2.2. They wanted 3.6. When we originally met, I kind of encouraged them that I think the price is like $1 million more than what you paid. Because, you can do the math, sellers. Like, do the math.
You mean they bought it for 2.2?
They bought it for 2.2.
They bought it for 2.2.
Right? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it went up around $1 million. So you do this math. In 2020, the market went up about 15%. 2021, it went crazy and it was like 21%. And over the last 2 years, 22 and 23, it's been like maybe 10 up, maybe 10 down, maybe just mellow. But go ahead and give it 10. And so that's 15 in 20 plus the 21 in 21, right? So that is 35 plus another 10. That's 45. So if you bought in 2020 to now, then go ahead and take 45 to 50%. You know what I mean? You can really go back and do the math. Now, if you made improvements to your house, that's a whole different story. Yeah. That's a whole different story.
But it's just pretty crazy. Like, it makes a huge difference. If you didn't reduce the price of your home, you on average sold in 8 days. But if you reduced more than 5%, on average, your house took 64 days to sell.
Jeez.
That's a
2 months.
Really big difference.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Huge.
So,
yeah, this property, how long did 19 take?
Dude, like
it was a hot minute. I think it was about 100 days. Yeah, and we started at 3.6 and we closed at 3.3.
Yeah.
There's deals. Like, the thing I think sellers need to understand that if they price their home properly and it's dialed, you can't have anything in the middle whatsoever. You got to bring your house to the highest level of its ability with paint and staging and depersonalization and the landscaping. Those are all easy things. Yeah. Paint, depersonalization, landscaping, staging.
Make it clean.
Those are easy things. If you do those things and you price your home properly, it's going to go off.
Yeah.
Buyers, guess what? Buyers get the benefit of all the sellers who did not do those things, which is a lot of sellers are not doing the right things to prep their home. So buyers get that benefit because while somebody is about to do a $100,000 price reduction, they can utilize that for the 3-2-1 buy down and get a 5% interest rate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's so many options for a buyer that's like committed. They're so interest rate heavy, and buyers aren't even aware that there is a way for them to get a interest rate in the 5s.
Yeah.
They had no idea.
There's also seller financing. You can take over people's loans. There's so many options that people are not educated about. So I think it's cool when we kind of go over having like a lender in here and they can kind of drop that.
Yeah,
that
Darren
knowledge.
was really dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that guy's a beast. It's awesome, man. Anything else on this?
That's it. The quick message is right now really isn't the time to test price when you're listing a home. You need to make sure you price it accordingly, and with the intentions of not doing any price drops down the line. Because if you do, according to these stats of homes sold in September in Orange County, it could really negatively hurt you in terms of how long it takes for your house to sell and for what price you get.
Yeah.
So
listen to your agent. Yeah. Like if you have an agent that's telling you, hey, we need a list at this price, and they're educated and they're not some, random unexperienced individual, like listen to them. Because a lot of the time there's always a pushback where the seller will like, well, I want more, so I want to list for more.
Right.
But behind the scenes, people like
listen
us
to your agent
that are doing hours and hours and hours of
agent
research.
If you're not going to listen to them?
It's like if your doctor recommends something and you do the opposite, what do you think's going to happen?
I don't know, but this dentist recommended that I should pull this tooth.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much it costs to put a because I was supposed to go in to do a crown.
Yep.
And that was like $2,000, and I go in there and he's like, I don't recommend you putting a crown on this tooth, blah blah blah. So I think we need to extract it, and then we put a whatever.
Yeah.
That was $8,000.
Oh. Damn.
I was like, whoa, $8,000 for one tooth?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can't you get a whole grill for that? Like, fully iced out? I'm bummed.
That's crazy.
But hey, man, they know. They know.
Damn, I take my jewelry off when I go to the dentist. He saw the ice.
Watch off.
He saw the ice.
I want to get a second opinion on that.
Dude, came here one day with a G-Wagon. Next day,
he's like,
some
you're going to need...
Next week, some weird electric car that I should try to return. It's a whole other story.
This guy needs a new tooth for sure.
For sure. I think we're going to need to replace them all. It's going to be $100,000. Yeah. All right, bro. So what do you got? You got some notes. You got some fire. You wrote a whole dictionary for this podcast. Let's get it, man.
All right. So this is one of the most important deep dive studies I've ever done on the market, because I also have a few ideas. So of actual solves to a few problems. So obvious problem right now is it's around the topic of first-time home buyers.
Okay.
It's very difficult to be a first-time home buyer. So right now, being a first-time home buyer compared to like if you owned a home pre-COVID, those are not the strongest buyers, which is interesting.
If you owned a home,
if you owned a home previously, because you had equity. So like for a lot of people, it's easier to buy because they can roll over their real estate. They can pull money from their home to buy other investment properties. They can flip their property, whatever. But now it's a bit tougher. So something that I did a study on was comparing Gen Z and millennials, and because that's been a huge portion of buyers. That's where a lot of the buyers are coming from. That's kind of what we need if we want to like determine the future of the market. We got to determine the future of the buyers, which are Gen Z and millennials. Yeah. So that's like people from the age of 18 to 42. Yeah. So
just out here just calling these properties mid, no cap.
This property's dope.
Yeah.
On God.
On God, write an offer.
So it's really interesting because I compared that. There's this whole report that the OC Register put out on comparing the younger buyers with, the older buyers, which are the baby boomers and Gen X. So that's
boomers like me. Am I a boomer?
No, you're millennial, bro.
I am millennial.
Wait, you 40? Are you 42?
I'll be 42 in April.
You're a millennial.
Dang, millennial borderline boomer.
You're almost a boomer. You're almost a boomer. But so pretty much everyone older than that, it's Gen X or a boomer. So what I kind of found out is that young buyers, the younger generations, even though it's more challenging, they're more willing than most other past generations to buy.
Really?
Even though it's more challenging. There's more buyers that are entering the market from that generation, and the older buyers are pulling out because they just don't have the determination, maybe
tired.
So this is really no. So this is comparing if you're
they
a
need
boomer.
to come to the Run Club and get hyped up.
If you're a boomer or Gen X who does not already own a home, a lot of them are not as eager to buy a home as the younger buyers.
That makes sense.
And so the younger buyers, they found, are actually willing to take more sacrifice. So sacrifice meaning smaller house, maybe it's a fixer, or if it's out of area.
Right.
Like they don't need the perfect house. They are willing to make a sacrifice just to own a house.
Interesting.
So even though it's higher interest rate,
they'll change their location.
They'll change up some things about what they wanted. Okay. So we found out that according to this report,
Kyle's kind of like an anomaly.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
He is.
For
you guys are Gen Zers.
Me and Kyle are Gen Z.
Kyle's like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not getting rid of this Porsche.
So we found
I'm never gonna rock a
Kyle,
Casio, paddock only.
He's in the 6%. So we found that only 6% of Gen Z and millennials say they never want to own a home.
6%.
That's a very small amount compared to Gen X and baby
Nick
boomers.
Dodd was weird.
So compared to Gen X and baby boomers, it's 17 to 19%. So about triple, which is that's a huge percentage compared to the younger buyers. Something else is that one of the main problems that we've seen is that prices are not decreasing in every area. Obviously, it's what we see in Orange County. So if you listen to the news, you'll hear a lot of like, oh, prices are dropping here. So yes, for sure, like on countrywide, according to the National Association of Realtors, countrywide, there's definitely a lot of areas where the prices are finally dipping, which
Seattle. I just had a long conversation with Thatch, and he said prices are down 7% to 10% from last year.
Yeah, a lot of people think like, oh, it must just be like the random cities. Like, not necessarily true.
Right.
Like Seattle's a very dominant city.
Yeah.
But
so in terms of that, you have to be able to study your own area where you're planning on buying.
100%.
Like Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
Definitely different. That's still Southern California. That's still a market that was on fire. Unless you have something that is insane, stay tuned, actually.
Which we do.
If you got something that's mid, on God, no cap.
No cap. That thing ain't flying.
That thing ain't flying.
Yeah.
That thing is sitting.
Yeah. But, so something that's interesting is the whole reason why we are experiencing these high interest rates is because prices were increasing like crazy, right? COVID, interest rates were super low. Inflation went higher than we were supposed to because home prices were getting really high. The Fed wanted to increase interest rates so that the home prices go down.
Yeah.
But because of our generation, they're determined to buy something. They're like, screw the interest rates. We're buying. We don't care.
Yeah,
because of that, which is awesome, but also it's making affordability harder. So our generation's always going to put up a fight, and even though interest rates are high, there's these different local markets, like a lot of Orange County, where the price is still going up because our generation is not, they want to put up a fight. So the only thing that can fix that problem, if we have a lot of buyers and more demand, is more supply, right? I think that's a known thing. Yeah. And like the supply is the issue. There's not enough supply. So, and something else I really started thinking about is our generation, the younger generation, we grew up with the internet, technology, social media. We're more visually focused than any other generation's ever been. Right. Everything's about aesthetic.
Yes.
Like, I don't want it if it's not aesthetic.
Right.
Like, I want, like, they might be willing to take a cut on like a smaller fixer house.
Right.
But I'm going to buy it, I'm going to make it dope. Like, I want to make it look awesome. So my idea, and I think the thing that needs to happen.
What you thinking, bro?
What got me thinking is, you see the warehouse in Irvine, the giant hangar that burned down.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are saying, like, oh, it's a conspiracy. Like Irvine Company wants to build homes or whatever. Like, it caught on fire a second time. Like, coincidentally, people are saying. Yeah. And most likely, what's going to happen? Irvine Company is going to come in and build up houses. Who knows what'll happen? But that's what a lot of people are saying. My proposition is that the only solve to this supply dilemma is a new case study program. Because if we have a lack of supply, and we have the majority of these eager buyers being this younger generation that is visually focused, what's the obvious solve? Like affordable and really cool looking houses. When did we also have that problem? After World War II. Which is why
you're saying we need to be the new Eichler and A. Quincy Jones.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So for people that don't know what the case study program is, do you want to, you're pretty educated on
Case Study House was, I forgot the individual's name who really ran Arts and Architecture magazine. But the way I kind of see it from my studies, it was like a contest. Like amongst the greatest architects of that time. I think it even started as early as the 40s. So it was like 40s, 50s, 60s. And it was these different architects from like Gregory Ain to Buff and Hensman,
A. Quincy
Jones, the Stahl House, and they with consistent use of materials, they went in and they really just created some of the most extraordinary works of art. Through that program, I think different studies and different techniques to actually create and build were developed. I don't know if that was necessary. I love the idea of there being a case study program just because for the art of it.
Yeah.
But what I think is really needed is an individual like Eichler, who had the vision to come in and create really well built, affordable, high design. Let me peel back on the really well built. I think it was more about high design than quality because of price.
Yeah, Eichler's and at the time they didn't have access. We were having trouble with our materials.
Yeah.
We couldn't import a lot of materials when the case study program was a thing.
Right.
So we needed to use more affordable materials.
Yeah.
So like the Eichlers, they're incredible.
Yeah.
But they're also not the greatest quality built
I feel like
material.
the prefab thing, especially when you look at who the buyers are, I think that if you're able to invest in large parcels of land and create really dope prefab homes, I think it would go off.
Dude, you can build a house now with 3D printing. The problem is a lot of them are modern.
Right.
But I think if we had also like some of them, you can AI generate a house, but there's no artistic creation to it, like the case study program.
Yeah.
Right. So, in a problem with the case study program was that there were and I've read the whole case study book. And I knew about every different community. There were many different communities that were designed, they never got built.
Yeah.
So that's where you see these case study houses.
Right.
The case study houses were model houses, we're going to create a community like this. So like the Eichlers, that worked.
Right.
It's still affordable today. And they're really dope design.
Yep.
They're affordable housing.
We have one, guys, nobody knows about, just so you know. Actually, we have two of them.
Oh. Yeah.
We have two Eichlers
and
nobody
rare.
knows about.
Yeah, they're rare.
Yeah.
But there's this one community I was studying in the case study book. Never got built.
Yeah.
They had it all planned out.
Wow.
The floor plans built, the materials, where the entire neighborhood, what they did was to build more homes. They did smaller lots, but because they wanted to conserve privacy, half of the house was underground.
Whoa.
Isn't that weird? So
interesting.
it'd be better insulated without using more material, and you wouldn't have to worry about the sound traveling to your neighbor.
It's like our Vista Bahia deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a half underground.
So who's going to be that pioneer? We need a pioneer.
Who better?
Yeah.
Who better
Who's
than
got 100 mil? I think if I could acquire 100 mil, we could really do some damage.
I think if the way that case is positioned, because I was thinking about this a lot, if we need a case study program and what the person would need to be able to make that happen is a whole lot of money, access to all the best artists, designers, architects.
We got that.
City planners.
We got that.
And also very deeply rooted in Orange County.
Yeah.
And also has a deep sense of community and understanding community.
Hey, if that's you, hit us up.
Hey, we got that.
Yeah, we have something we'd like to do up in here.
We got something pretty big that we'd like to do.
I like that. Make some noise. Let's go. Hey, how often can I count on you guys bringing this fire data? That was incredible. This is going to be a weekly thing?
Every week.
Wow, you guys heard it here. In case you missed it, is now the best place to get your real estate news, courtesy of Justin Lee and Eli Stirdivant.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm just going to be here absorbing it, and I'll say some inspirational things.
No, let's go.
Look, y'all, we appreciate you. Much love to the insane mob of people that showed up to the Run Club last Saturday. That was insane. We're just getting warmed up. We got so much up our sleeves to inspire you, uplift you, educate you, encourage you. We just ask that you do the same within your community. Much love, y'all. In case you missed it, we'll talk to you soon. Woo!